Hello.
And welcome
to the Minimum Wage Podcast. Where even the name is above our pay grade. So today we're joined by a guest.
Charles.
Robert.
Visintainer.
Full name.
The
Wow.
full name, actual full name.
Yeah. He was on the podcast previously. You didn't see that.
No, you
And I will say you never will, but then I just realized you might.
You
could.
You probably won't.
Yeah, you probably won't.
You might, but you probably won't. But you will hear this.
Indeed.
So, yeah.
So today we're talking business because we have a businessman. Hence
Hey,
why
as you can see, we're all in dapper business attire.
the business attire, of course.
Marche.
Dude,
Slacks. And
so the
loafers.
reality is when you're in the presence of a businessman, you cannot be pulling up wearing any old suit, any old fit.
If that ain't the
You're
truth.
going to be wearing a business fit.
If you're talking business, you got to dress business.
Exactly.
'Cause if you're dressing business, you're thinking business.
Okay.
Which means you're talking business, which means you're making money.
I love that.
Aw.
And that's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line, the fact of the matter. So are we making money? Are we making money?
We are.
Yes, because we're talking
Presently.
business.
Presently.
Presently, dude.
Well, tonight, technically, yes, I will actually be making money for the business.
Oh, really? You
I
got a
landed
job lined up?
contract this morning. Yeah. Not a contract, but like an agreement, more like.
Okay.
No, it's a
Shook hands
contract.
on
No.
it. I'll make a
Handshake contract.
I'll send him an email invoice
Yeah.
probably once a month or once a week whenever he pays me. But do you just want to dive straight into it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So
We have
there's-
notes.
I have
We're
notes,
prepared.
but I'll get to that because this is actually a pretty interesting story, and it's just for instance of how easy this can be.
Yeah.
Let's say I think it was last night or yesterday. I rolled up to this gas station that's probably a mile or two from my house,
Okay.
but it's a Indian-owned gas station. So
is it?
you know the guy. It's his gas station. It's
Mhm.
not like it's called Time Saver, and
Okay.
it's not like it's his gas station. So
Yeah.
he can
Do whatever he wants.
Yeah, exactly. He can do whatever he wants. He can hire whoever he wants. And so I pulled up and I noticed it was a little dirty on the inside. And I was like, hey, do y'all guys have a cleaner? And they were like, no. And I was like, oh, that's crazy because I own a cleaning business and I'd love to do a cleaning for you. As a matter of
Wow.
fact, I'd love to do routine cleanings for you. And they were like, well, the first guy was actually like, hey, we need that. I'm just not the boss. So I can't do that for you.
Okay.
But I know when he's coming here. And he was supposed to be there at 5. And so I left at like 5:05 from my house. Took like 5 minutes to get there.
Sure.
It was it's not the fastest road to drive on, and some people go crazy on it. So, but I rolled up, and he was gone. He left literally at like 5:10. So I missed him.
No.
I went that evening as well, and he had just left. And then this morning I got up and was like, it's his shift this morning, so he's not going anywhere. He's working.
Of
That's what the
course.
guy told me last night. He's like, come here at 8. I was going to get there at 8:15. I was too tired whenever I woke up at first, so I took a little bit of a snoozer, and then I hit that up. But I got there, and I talked to him. I said, hey, I have a cleaning business, and I'd love to do a routine cleaning for you. And he's like, okay, well, what can you do? I was like, well, what do you need? And he just simply explained, it's like, I just need mopping. I need you to just, like, detail some things, and then take out the trash, fill back the liners.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's going to be $20 a night.
Bada
Every
bing,
single
bada
night.
boom.
At about like 10 or 11.
Every single
Every
night.
single night I'm going there and making so I make $140 a week now.
Just off that
that.
one job.
Yeah.
Not me because it's
The
I mean,
business.
John's part of the company, but the business makes that money.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Just off that one thing.
Off of because I went down there and just was like, "Hey, can I do this for you?" And they were like, "We actually been needing that." So, sure.
Bada bing, bada boom.
That's how business works.
And I'll get into more about my strategy of how I'm trying to accumulate customers at the
Yeah.
moment. It's a pretty traditional old strategy, but it works.
Hey.
It still works.
If it
But if
works.
we're going to start off with what I started off with,
If it
my
ain't
notes,
broke, don't fix it.
how do you indeed start an LLC? How do you get a non-physical entity that represents your business so you can do business legitimately? Well, I can
Exactly.
tell you. Simply put, starting off,
Make sure the microphone.
make sure the microphone. You need to get with a registered agency. Personally, that's my opinion. You can go to your government website where you would go through your Secretary of State to set it up. Like, you can file it yourself. That's all
Absolutely.
cool. But I didn't want to go through the hassle of learning to do that. I just wanted to file my LLC and get on with it because I knew what I needed to do after that.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to learn the whole process. So I hired a registered agency. It was $25 a year.
That's
$25
not bad
a
at
year.
all.
I can call them whenever I want as long as the business is open and ask them questions about my LLC.
A year.
A year. Now they're
That's
not
incredible.
they're not an advisor, but they can help you with getting your LLC off its butt, basically.
Yeah.
And tell you what extensions you need to add to it to make it a more legal, more efficient machine.
Dude,
That is for $25 a year.
that's an incredible
You
value.
get customer support that's better than any tech
They are
company that ever
so
exists.
good too. The one, actually, I'll go ahead and plug them if that's fine. The ones
Please.
here, the Registered Agency LLC of Augusta, is the best one in my opinion. Even though I haven't tried other ones, it's just the best one. Every time I've called, I've asked to be transferred to the same person because she treated me so well. I think her name's I won't say her name on the pod. Never mind.
Why?
Her name's Rochelle. Okay,
Rochelle, dude.
Rochelle.
Rochelle.
She's pretty.
Plug her, dude.
She's pretty lit. Anytime I get on there, I ask if she's available because anytime I have a question about anything on my LLC, she got it. But I don't really need to do that too much anymore because I'm already at the point where I'm doing business.
Yeah.
But when I was setting things up, it was pivotal. Pivotal.
Pivotal.
Golly. Pivotal.
Pivotal words.
Whenever you get the entity, you're going to want to go ahead and go to the IRS website
Indeed.
where they allow you to file your EIN number for free. You
Okay.
just go on there and you type out all the information from your business.
What
Yeah.
exactly is a EIN number?
Your EIN number is your entity identification number.
Okay.
And your entity identification number allows you to get things like bank accounts.
Yeah.
That's what
Hey.
ties your business
Think
name.
of it as the social security for my business.
Of a business.
I
Okay,
have my
exactly.
personal social security card. That's my business's social security number.
Word.
Bada bing,
That's
bada boom.
literally, that's like bottom line, basically.
Bottom line right
That's
there.
the bottom
And-
We're all about the bottom line here.
We're
So.
You know
all
what I'm
about the
saying?
bottom line here.
Love to hear that. So that's how you get an LLC, dude.
That's how you get it to the point where you can then like go out and just say, hey, I have an LLC. I'd like to do this. Now you do need certain licenses depending on the LLC that you open, but I'm just
Explain that a little bit. What do you mean by
I
licenses?
don't need licenses, but
Oh.
I need a business license.
Okay.
Oh,
But I
yeah,
don't
right.
really need a business license. I need to go
Why?
through the Better Bureau, the Better Business Bureau, and go ahead and get it for my business. But at the moment, since I'm doing jobs more as like favors, if you would,
Sure.
and sending them invoices, I don't have that quite at the moment.
Okay.
but it's
What
a-
does that do for you?
It basically like you can just present it, and it's like, hey, this guy can do business.
Okay.
Like he's allowed to operate this business. He's allowed to make money from this business.
Okay.
Everything like that.
So until you have that, are there any like things
I can still put
barring you
money
from
in
doing
my
business?
bank account from that. So
You can put
even
money
without-
in your bank
I-
account
I
and
asked-
the business's bank account.
I know the VP. Yeah, I normally the money just goes into my normal account because I write it
Okay.
out to me at the
Okay.
moment. But I can write it out to the business because I do have a business bank account with First Citizens because I know the VP that works there and my uncle happens to be an executive of a couple branches.
Oh, incredible.
So I walked in and I was like, I need this, and they're like, cool, I got it.
I just made the horrible mistake of looking straight into our lights, and now I am blind in both eyes.
It's not fun. I just tried it. No, okay.
Yeah.
Just try.
But there's something else that you need to understand whenever you're going into business, and there's two kinds of insurances, and there's two kinds of businesses technically. What are you trying to sell? Are you trying to sell a service or are you trying to sell a product?
Drugs.
Sure.
Yeah, a product. If you're trying to sell a product, all you
Mercy.
need is a business license. But if you're trying to sell a service, meaning I have workers, I have a payroll, I have this, I have that.
Yeah.
That
Things get a
is
little bit more
where
complicated.
You have to get workers' comp insurance.
Mm,
Because
okay.
if Dalen goes up on a ladder and doesn't come down the correct way you're supposed to go down a ladder and gets injured on a job that I told him to do, I'm in trouble, and he's got a hurt leg. So I got to compensate him for his
Exactly.
time, even though he's not working. And that's where workers' comp insurance comes in and covers my butt a
Yeah.
little bit.
Because I can sue your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could sue the entity. You couldn't sue my ass
Well,
unless
yeah,
I
yeah.
pushed you off the ladder.
Of course. Unless you push me up.
Unless I push you up. Like if I pushed you off the
Yeah.
ladder, then yeah, you
Yeah, I'm
can
gonna
sue.
sue you.
By all means,
I
sue
don't
me.
think that's much of a sue. I think that's like taking you to court, putting you in prison.
Hey man, attempted? Nah.
This man attempted to injure me. I was trying to do some work for him.
Probably be battery. I'm not a lawyer, but that'd probably be.
Not assault.
I think there's a difference, and I
What's the
think,
difference between assault and battery?
I think it's assault and battery. So I'm
No,
pretty sure
there's a
it's one-
difference because there's like assault. There's like assault and battery, and then there's battery.
I think there is a difference because I do hear assault and battery. Yeah, you've got a phone. We can look it up.
Let's look it up. As you was talking about that though, is there anything that we need to bring? Oh, I apologize. I'm really sorry. It's Wednesday, and the Spotify podcast just went up. Okay.
No.
I forgot to hit publish. That's the bottom line.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
So it was just sat there.
It was just sat there.
Oh no!
It was just on the RSS waiting to hit publish. I still have not paid a dime for that yet, but I'm gonna have to.
pay
Unfortunately,
after this one.
this is the one.
this is the one
where I gotta start paying.
So the difference between assault and battery, according to Georgia laws, assault is defined as a threat or an attempted harm of another person, while battery is actual physical contact and potential harm.
I'm
for
a
someone
lawyer!
else.
You are a lawyer.
It's all those clips on YouTube of Better Call Saul. That's what it is.
Yeah,
That's battery.
exactly what you said. That's
There's
incredible.
a fun little picture too.
Oh, that's beautiful. Send that to me. Let me post that. That's incredible.
That's my Instagram post for the day.
Yes.
Oh shit! I just airdropped it to you.
Well, I'll take it.
Please, is that to your iPad?
No, that's to my
incredible.
computer where it needs to be.
Or
Oh no, you just sent me the
I got
link
that
to the
right.
website.
well, that's good enough.
All right.
Wow. Yeah. So that would be battery if you push him
That
off
would
the
be
ladder.
Yeah. If I push
Wow.
you up the ladder. Okay,
That
cool.
was a lot, but yeah, that kids don't push people off ladders.
Yeah,
That's battery.
You could be
You're
charged
gonna
with battery.
get a prison.
I'll go ahead and segue us right quick
Please.
into the benefits of having an LLC.
This is a perfect segue because instead of you getting sued,
My entity would get sued. Correct. It wouldn't be my. It wouldn't. It's not the shareholders. It's not any of my physical assets. It's just the company's money and the company's assets.
okay.
Right. So, that was a message from my apartment complex.
Incredible.
They're repaving shit. So like you have to park in different spots.
Dude, it's wild.
It's terrible.
Dang.
It is-
Do you like
it
your
is
all right,
crazy.
segue?
We can do a segue.
Segue.
Yeah.
Are you liking the new place?
I like it because I have more than one couch and my living. Okay, so my living area and my dining room, which is my office space now, or our office space, I should say. My bad. Was
Communism.
just conglomerated with a whole bunch of crap. But we
Yeah.
have a spare bedroom, which we turned into a plant/project room.
Okay.
But it has everything else in it now. So there is room in there. We just need to clean it up and like
Okay.
put other things up in the house so they're not just sitting in there. But the living
Microphone.
area space and the office are clear now. And the kitchen's always clean, which is very nice. And I have a washer and dryer.
Oh, moving way up.
This man has a truly incredible looking place. It's looking quite clean. Of course, that is when they clean it, because when you have animals, things get wild.
When you have cats, things
Yeah.
do get
Like my
dirty.
sister. Get it? It's a funny one.
My master bathroom, though, is a disaster because the drain got plugged, so I moved everything into the other bathroom, which is bigger, funnily enough. The master bedroom's the smallest one in the apartment. The one in the hallway is
Got
the
'em.
biggest one. So I don't mind it because it's like more counter space. But I was in the shower one morning in the second bathroom, and it had a really nice shower head on it. I was like, I love this shower head compared to the other one. I went to tilt it down a little bit. The whole thing just snapped off.
Good work.
I had to
That's hilarious.
I had to finish my shower with just tube water.
Tube water.
And then I screwed it in.
Just a spigot. That's the
Yeah.
same thing as a hose in the backyard.
I felt like I was like, just like, you know those drains that you see, just like those little pipes draining out. I don't know where you would see them, but you know what I'm talking, like a
Yeah.
spring basically. I
Yeah.
just felt like I was taking a shower in that.
Love that.
It made my morning a little droggy, but like I took the other one and put it on there.
Droggy.
Word of the day.
Yeah.
Droggy.
I don't know if droggy is even a word, but it's word of the day.
Well, like groggy to like drag
Groggy, drag and grog.
and grog. You know?
The combination of the two. Man, well, segue back.
No, square back.
Square back.
Square back. That's how it worked 2 times.
There's only one thing that I'm kind of pissed about at the moment with the apartment. They're struggling to get a contractor out to replace the ceiling in my washroom because it
Interesting.
fell because there was a water leak above it. Someone forgot to turn off a water pipe. And I didn't press anything. I didn't say anything about it. I was like, just get a contractor out there. It's been a month. It's like, get a contractor out here.
You have no ceiling.
I got a little bit of a ceiling. It's
You got a little
it's about like this ceiling.
Okay.
We got the
Okay, I mean-
rafters. But there are like spiders up there and everything, so it's kind of creepy.
Ooh, there's spiders up there and
There's
everything.
spiders everywhere where I live.
Dang,
Yeah.
dude.
Not inside the house.
So what he's
but, like,
saying
outside
is
the
that
house.
he's okay, so that's not.
It's like the perfect environment for them, so it totally makes sense though. It's a
Mm.
cold, damp, wet place.
Oh yeah.
Oh, not cold. Dark.
The
damp,
only
wet place,
thing-
my bad.
which keeps the American South different from a nicer place of Australia is the fact that there's only spiders really outside. Australia, there's spiders everywhere. It doesn't matter what you do. They'll
Really?
be like big spiders inside. And that's just
crazy.
normal.
No, yeah, they have some weird wildlife over there, dude.
Yeah, they have something called a wallaby.
Yeah.
Say wallaby 10 times. I swear it won't sound like a word.
Wallaby, 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 wallaby,
wallaby.
And now say wallet.
Wallet.
Is wallet a word?
Wallet.
Does wallet sound like a word?
Wallet.
Yeah, because I say it all the time. Like, oh, lost
Wallet.
my wallet.
Lost my wallet.
Lost my wallet then, Bav.
Wallet.
Lost my wallet in the water.
Either way.
What water in the wallet then, Bav? Got me a
Water
bottle
down
of
my
water with
wallet.
the water in the water above.
Wow.
There are 2 major benefits to having an LLC. In my opinion, there's the one major one that everyone knows, which is that you are a limited liability corporation.
Exactly.
And that means you can't sue me directly unless you pierce the corporate veil. That's the thing I did not tell y'all about that I was waiting to tell you.
The corporate veil.
It's either lifting or piercing the corporate veil. 2 terms, same thing. If you own and it's specifically for limited liability. If you are in some way more responsible for the wrongdoing, like it's just no joke, you did it,
Yeah.
but it happened at your business, if the court sees it fit, they will get rid of your limited liability and just go for the shareholders.
Oh,
So that's why, like, I was talking to my friend Brian.
That's interesting.
Because I work at the Pinnacle Club, and it's pretty cool. I get to talk to rich people. I don't know. It helps with connections.
I love that.
But he was explaining, like, if you're going to open a limited liability, understand this. And I was like, oh, thank you. I did not know this was a thing.
Piercing the corporate veil.
Yeah, and thank God, because now I know.
Dude, yeah.
That's the bottom
But that
line.
also just goes to show how important it is to get quality employees.
Oh, yeah.
Because they could obviously just make up some stuff and get you embroiled in some lawsuit for years without ever having a basis for their claims. Because the legal system, no joke, it takes forever for a court case to get passed throughout that system, dude. It's so inefficient. It's horrible, dude. And our tax dollars are at work. Anyway,
Exactly.
if that were to happen, where you have like some completely baseless claims from an employee, you could still be potentially like liable for something that never even happened. So that goes to show you needed quality employees.
You need quality employees, and you need very good, knowledgeable connections.
Indeed.
On to the second point, though. You have something called write-offs. I believe you can do write-offs in other businesses too, but specifically for a limited liability, there's one trick that I heard about that is really fun to do with it. It's called you can take like a weekend trip basically and write the whole thing off. Because if, let's say, me, John, and Gabe went down to Miami, or let's say like all 4 of us went down to Miami.
Sure.
And we were like, okay, we want to party Saturday and Sunday, but we're going to go ahead and go to a business conference on Friday whenever we get there.
Yes.
We're going to go have a business lunch with someone that we need to talk to down there, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go ahead and party Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Or we'll just enjoy our time, whatever you want to do in Miami. It's up to you.
If we hooked a job cleaning the Trump Mar-a-Lago.
As long as you resume doing business on Monday and like go to another, I don't know if you would go to another conference or have a workshop or actually do a job, whatever it may be, that time span it connects. So all 4 of those days of expenses, room, board, food, transportation, the flight, can be tax deducted.
Wow.
Which means you see 20% of that back whenever you get your tax return.
Okay.
That's how it works, by the way. Tax write-offs is I write off this whatever. I write off a new truck for my company. I don't want to pay the full price. You're still paying whatever you have to pay for it. Yeah. End of the year, though, you're seeing 20% back. Because you wrote it off as a business expense. Like you wrote off the trip as a business expense.
So it's 20% of the tax you're seeing back. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is actually incredible.
It's kind of incredible.
I remember thinking about Alto Pablo when he was setting up his LLC. He was looking into this, and there were tons and tons of things that he bought, like music equipment, the whole 9 yards that he bought with his own personal money and didn't even think to write them off.
Really?
Then the end of the year came. Well, I think it might have actually been before he had created his LLC, so he couldn't have written them off.
No, yeah, that's the thing. I got the pressure washer before, but I technically borrowed it, and then someone stole it because of where I live, and then I bought it.
Wait, somebody actually stole your pressure washer?
Nabbed it.
Just thank God they didn't take the surface cleaner.
Dude.
Surface cleaner does me so good. Gets jobs done so quickly. We're trying to get one right now. Matter of fact, at a Motel 6. It's 3 stories, but it's a $1,300 job.
Oh, beautiful.
And I gave him a $500 discount because
So it
I'm
would've been
saying I'm running a
18.
promo.
Yeah.
In reality, I'm just charging a tiny bit more than normal and then deducting. So I'm still making
Got
a
him.
profit.
Well, the reality is you'll see a common vein in business. That's promos in general, baby.
Everything's always on sale.
If you
man.
look at things on Amazon where it's like, oh, the prices dropped like 33%, you're like, what?
Exactly.
The price hasn't dropped 50%, but the price has also been raised.
Shout out to Honey real quick because you can see price fluctuations.
Honey out here.
So-
No, shout out to Honey. Honey sponsor us.
Yeah, Honey sponsor. No shout out. But with Honey, you can see price fluctuations. So I saw this specifically on Amazon a few days ago. I was looking at workout gloves. And on Amazon, it was advertised. You know how they like cross out the price? They're like 33% cheaper.
Yep.
And then they have like the price now. I looked at the Honey thing,
I've seen it.
and it was like actually increased from the price that it was in December.
Yeah.
So they can really just fluctuate prices all the time, and it'll make it look like you're getting a discount when actually months ago you would have been paying even less, no discount.
Yeah, and that's the
No
beauty
discount.
as well as, I guess, of being like a small business. People don't know you yet. So
Yeah.
They don't know your prices.
Exactly.
If that's a recent thing, I honestly like you could probably chalk it up to inflation or the supply chain.
Yeah,
You know?
no, that one
Yeah.
probably could be chalked up to inflation. So
A lot of things can be chalked up to inflation these days.
it might be a discount. Nonetheless, it is more expensive with the discount than it was just full price.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Mans is out here like starting a business right before a potential economic recession.
We're already in a
That's-
recession.
That's the point.
A big
That's
time
when you want
Well,
to.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to be recession proof.
Exactly,
Simply
yeah.
put.
Bada bing,
Right
bada boom.
now is the best time to start a business.
And the thing is I don't really, I want to get this cleaning business as big as possible. By the way, I have a cleaning business, VizClean LLC.
VizClean
If you ever need any
LLC.
cleaning services,
We're
email
plugging
me.
it. It's in the link in the bio.
Free quotes.
We're
All the
gonna have a
stuff.
link down in the description. All that. If you don't have a LinkTree, make a LinkTree.
Free?
Yeah, it's free. Free
Huh?
app. LinkTree, I will shout out. 'Cause
Incredible.
It's just like a free service, anyways. Actually, so is Honey.
Honey is
But okay, no shout out
free
LinkTree.
service.
LinkTree is awesome though.
Indeed.
You just get to create this like page that's just a link.
Mhm.
It's just a tree of links to all your links across the.
Hence
internet.
the
I
name.
want to touch on something though that you said earlier. You were
crazy.
talking about employees, and you said like how you need a specific quality
Our
of
guest
employee.
is doing a square back. He's squaring back. That's crazy.
I love that.
Thank you. I watch podcasts too.
There we go.
There you go. Love that.
We got a quality employee right here, dude.
Mercy, mercy.
But
And employer.
there's 2 kinds of employees that you can get with your business, and you can either do a W-2, which means you need a payroll, and that means that I have to do more tax work for them
Okay.
than they have to do in the long run. Because if W-2, I give you a tax form at the end of the year, you sign it, you're done
Yeah.
type thing. You see how much you get back.
I've actually
if you're
been
doing a 1099, that means he has to get it. So if I say, hey, John, we got a job tomorrow, it's the motel, you're going to make $300. The thousands going, or like, let's say like 800 is going back from the business, and I'm making 2.
Yeah.
Just for my own gain, I'm making 2. Because I already have that gas station job, which is going to be going into the business, but also I got to get paid for my time too.
Of
So I
course.
Bada
take
bing,
and
bada
split
boom.
in a percentage.
Ding, ding,
Obviously,
ding.
has it worse. But, what was it? Yeah. If I get him as a subcontractor,
Yeah.
that means with that money, he got that $300. He has to document that for his taxes.
Exactly.
I don't have to I only have to document my $200.
Yeah.
Or I can commit tax evasion.
You could. We could just slip the money under the table. But
It boils down to the difference between a 1099 and a W-2 is a 1099 is a contract worker. It's
Yeah.
contract-based
and
pay.
normally that comes with them bringing their own equipment
Yeah.
in the usual, which is why it would be a little strange for me to do that. But I could just as a way to,
Release your tax liability.
release my workload a tiny bit. But I'll
Yeah.
probably
Wow.
my cousin's becoming a CPA, so I should be good.
Okay. Are you trying to make W-2 employees?
I believe so. I'm pretty sure that's where I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Because I've already, for the moment, some of the jobs have just been like more favors than jobs, but they're
Yeah,
still
sure.
for the company. So I just take cash out of my account and give it to
Yeah.
like whoever worked with me. But in the long run, I think a W-2 would be good because then I can use Paycom's system and they can actually like clock in and clock out for jobs. This is whenever it's not just John and Gabe.
Sure.
Right. So whenever I have more than two
Two employees that are both your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whenever we have like, Joe and Chad and Josh or whoever the heck it's actually going to be.
Yeah.
And I have a couple trucks and vans that they're driving and things along those lines.
Of course.
At that point, once that starts to roll in, W-2 off on the Paycom.
And as an employee, I much prefer W-2 work because that's like a lot more, I would say like it's less temporal work. So it's like more permanent work. Like I'm an employee of somebody's company if I'm a W-2 employee versus where like I'm working a job. That's a 1099.
Yeah, and it's like it's cool to work jobs, but W-2 definitely has its tax benefits along with its benefits for employees.
Yeah.
I believe that would still mean like if I booked you for a bunch of cleaning jobs and you got over 40 hours, you're definitely seeing overtime.
Of course.
Like OT for sure.
Versus like with a 1099 may or may not be seen.
1099 is normally just a fixed price.
Yeah.
It's like I just said to John, like I'm going to give you this much. So technically it would be a subcontractor thing, but we don't have to do all that employee jargon yet. I'm just trying to learn about it.
Of course.
Learn about it more thoroughly.
But
I'm sure take a year or two, this will be a much more in-depth conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most definitely.
Because at that point you're going to be bringing in thousands a week,
That's the point.
millions a year.
Indeed.
Of course.
Let's see. Banking. Shall we touch on banking?
Please,
for a moment?
dude.
Certainly.
Okay, so obviously you already know that you need an EIN number, but did you know that you need more than one account for your business bank account?
No. Tell me about
No?
that.
So, matter of fact, I'm not going to tell anyone to pull up their banking app, but do you all have a mobile banking app?
Yeah, I'm
I
going to
do.
pull it up right now.
Okay.
No, you're not.
My
So-
phone's recording.
I'm about to say,
No, you're
I
not.
have mine, but my screen's cracked and tiny, so I'm just going to explain. If you have a savings account and a primary account, right?
Yeah.
The primary account's where the money gets drawn out of, savings accounts where you can transfer money to. But within a business, within a business, you want multiple accounts. As in, let's say I have an account just strictly for food.
Okay.
So if I'm taking people out to lunches to talk with them about business, or let's say I need to expand my business, so I'm taking out some people that know my stuff more, like better than I do.
Yeah.
That can come out of there.
Okay.
But let's say I also have a tax account, and let's say I also have an equipment account, and
Okay.
I have a different account like that. And you might be like, well, what's the reason for these accounts? I can tell you that right
Gotta
now.
have one for gas.
You do need one for gas. You really need one for gas, and you need one for tax purposes, because like half the money you make should just go in there immediately.
What does that mean? Tax purposes? Like that's for
At the end of
paying
the
your
year,
taxes?
unless if you do quarterly, okay, and I'm not that versed in taxes as I should be.
Okay.
But that's because I have a banker friend. You can do quarterly or you can do annually, I believe. But you have to pay taxes in a business.
Yes.
You have to
Right.
pay taxes.
Yeah.
So every time, let's say I do a $1,300 job, and it's like, oh crap, I gotta document this. I gotta make sure that this gets into my taxes. I have to go ahead and take $1,300, split it in half, throw it into that account. That way, whenever the end of the year comes, it's like, hey, you have $28,000 in taxes or something. It's like, okay, cool. Well, I have $50,000 in this account, so I was set from the get-go.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about it. I already made the money. The money's already saved. But whenever you cash in a certain amount of money, I just blanked on it. Anthony was explaining it to me. By the way, your uncle, he's the VP, I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's at he explained it to me like this. If I make $8,000, I don't know what the limit is. We're going to say it's $8,000. After a certain amount of money is being put into your account at one point, in one account, pay attention to that, into one account at one point, they will start to charge you a couple cents per 100.
Wait, what?
Yeah. They will start to charge you a couple cents per 100 to put into the bank account. And this is just a thing because it's like you're putting a lot of money into one. It's $8,000 into an account in one day. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I have separate accounts, so I can put like 100 or 200 in food. I can put 400 in gas. I can go ahead and take that $4,000 and throw it in like taxes, and then I don't know, whichever one has the debit card attached to it, throw money onto that one too.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, so that it's split up, but I'm still making the same amount.
That works. So
To
like you bring,
diversify.
say I pay you to do a job. I pay you $400. You clean my house, whatever. I pay you $400. You take that check. You go to the bank. You tell her, the bank tell her, hey, I'm going to put 200 of that into my tax account. I'm going to put 50 of that into my gas account. I'm going to put 150 of that into my payroll, and I'm making nothing. So
Well-
is that how it works, or like do you put it all into the same and then disperse it from there?
Whenever it doesn't matter that I'm the CEO of the company, I'm still technically on the payroll.
Okay.
So I would either give myself a set salary every
Yeah.
year, like certain managers and people at that position do, or I would throw myself in with the W-2.
Okay.
So I would just get paid weekly or
Yeah.
something along those lines. And you have to do that as the CEO, because it's not like you can just go up to the bank and be like, I'm taking 80 out of gas to go spend on beer.
Yeah.
You can't just do that.
No way.
It's not going to happen. You are an employee yourself. What was the other part of
Indeed.
your question, if I didn't answer it?
Oh yeah. So the other part was basically like, do you have to specify when you bring the check to the bank?
Yeah, okay. So whenever you walk up to the teller, at any point in time, if you're depositing money into your account, they have all those accounts in front of them.
Of course.
Right.
So that's more than easy enough for them to do. And
okay.
it's not going to be like something they've never heard of, because if their bank is doing banking with other businesses, they're going to be like, okay, yeah, I've seen this before. What do you want in your accounts?
Mhm.
Or I would just bring it to Anthony and be like, hey, I'm bringing this check. I need this much in this much in that, this much in this. He'd probably write it down. I'd give him the check and then I'd leave or something like that.
Word, yeah.
Or I could just do it digitally.
You can do that.
I mean, yeah, you can just take a picture of the front and the back of your check and it goes into your bank account.
So yeah, no. So this is exactly my question.
And
Now
what's
we're
it?
getting the meat and potatoes of this. So when I do that, it doesn't. There's no way to specify multiple accounts for different portions of that check to go into. So say it was $8,000, you'd have to put it in one account first and then disperse it from there.
What app do you use?
I'm not gonna say it
I'm
because it's a
gonna
local
actually
bank, but
open up
You can
mine.
bleep it.
I'm about to say you might
okay,
wanna,
yeah, I'll use.
Okay. I use a different one, and I think you can specify multiple accounts.
Okay, do you use like Bank of America or
I
something?
use Truist.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
use in First Citizens.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have a check to cash right now, but I assume it would work like that. This is
Okay.
the business bank account right now. I just bought checks. I forgot to bring them. I was gonna bring my checks.
Oh
to show y'all.
man,
But
But I
flex
left.
on the
Oh,
pod.
that's an important thing. If you're a businessman, you need to go to Staples right now, right this instant. Go to Staples and
Today.
get the little writing pad things they have with the clipboard at the top,
What do you mean?
and then you can open it.
Oh, you're talking about the box.
Yeah,
The
but
box
not
that-
like a whole box. It's slender.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It holds like loose leaf, or you could have bills in there. So if you're at a house and it's like, man, I needed to make an adjustment to the bill. This wasn't discovered, but they still wanted me to do it.
Yeah.
If I don't have my laptop and a printer with me, I'm gonna just go ahead and make an edit on that and then give it to them.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Okay, beautiful.
Or like if I need to take notes, or like if I'm walking around the property to make a quote, I'll write notes on there like, this is where the water out plug is, so I know where my source is whenever I'm using the pressure washer.
Yeah.
Or I'll be like, this spot's really dirty, and then at the end I'll go ahead and I'll kind of break everything down into segments. Like the most recent job I had 2 walkways and 2 staircases.
Yes.
One was a big staircase that went up to the 3rd story. One was a small staircase that just went up to the 2nd story.
Okay.
Bottom layer was a really big wraparound, and it had some extra stuff because there was a pool. And then the second layer just was like it didn't go fully around the building, but no, it did. Yeah, it went fully around the building. And then I went ahead and broke that up into 4 pieces, wrote out the form, the statement, right? The bill, sorry. And I brought it to the guy, and he's like, okay, just email that to me, and I'll get back to you in a couple days. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I left.
Sweet.
And that's basically how you do it.
Everything I'm about to say did not happen and will not happen. So recently, whenever I've been at my bank, because whenever I put money and stuff in the bank, I if I can, I typically like to go in person, go to a bank,
It's good
teller.
to show your face, dude.
Right, yeah.
That literally
trying
was
to-
my next point. Don't be a stranger.
That's crazy.
Wow, that is wild. I've been noticing that if you can look at what keystrokes they enter, because all they're doing is entering keystrokes. I could
Yeah.
write a script on my USB rubber ducky, and that only takes a few seconds to run. I could deposit as much money as I wanted into my account.
Imagine that.
John, we need to have a really, really intense business meeting after this podcast.
John's
Anyways.
committed to God, man.
Anyways,
Wow. Yeah, that never happened and never will.
that never
looks
will
like-
happen.
looks like
Don't
we're
do that.
Looks like we're about to be millionaires.
Don't do
Looks
that.
I
like-
heard.
Real quick, we're fast tracking.
Well, that's the thing. I hope their cameras aren't wireless. I'll just direct denial of service on all their cameras, cause like a little something to happen in the building, plug it in, and I'm gone, baby.
Gracious me.
The perfect crime.
The perfect
I'm
crime,
sorry,
dude.
I've thought about this a lot.
I can tell.
It's
I
so
can
easy.
tell.
You're not robbing a bank, but you are robbing a bank.
Exactly.
Indeed.
That's the bottom line.
I love
Next
that.
thing though that you have to do, I already said I got checks. You need checks for your business, so you can write out checks for
Indeed.
your business. Pretty straightforward.
Mm,
You do
you
need.
might need to overcome the cash drawer.
Huh?
You'll probably
Overcome?
need to overcome the cash drawer because the cash drawer would open, and I think the cash drawer has to close. And it might need to check the bills.
No, when you have a check, is the cash drawer opening?
I think they might tap it. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think it. Oh, it doesn't?
I don't think. Not at my bank, at least.
None of your bank?
Not at
Got
my bank.
really lost there for a second. I'm not.
Oh, he's talking about when he runs the script to deposit the money.
That
Yeah.
makes sense now. I don't know that
I'm still
much
thinking
about
about it.
computers. I'm just into business.
Yeah, that's that's fair. Yeah, you're
I
talking
mean-
to two like computer science and cybersecurity majors. So like,
Oh, I met a guy, by the way, recently at the Pinnacle that has both of y'all's degrees.
what's that?
I met a guy at the Pinnacle recently that has both of y'all's degrees.
What a man! What in the
Because
world?
I was talking to him, I was like, 2 of my friends have this. And he was just like, yeah, I have both of those. I was like, you serious? He's like, yeah.
What's he doing?
He runs a cybersecurity place.
Dummy, dude.
Yeah, it's like.
He should not have
I
gotten
won't
both
say the
degrees.
name of the other guy, but John knows who he is. He's a retired general in the military, and I hooked him up with him.
Yeah.
Wait, do I know who he is? Does his first name begin with Bill?
No.
Oh, I was about to say, hand over the mic real quick.
We can edit.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't know who he
He's
is.
a retired military general. But
Oh,
yeah.
well, that's why he's got 2 degrees. The military probably paid for
No,
both.
that's a different guy. I know 2 people.
Oh,
in those
what?
fields. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that guy because he came in for a tech convention. And then I know the guy with the 2 degrees because I served his friends get together. Like the 2. Him and 2 of his friends got together that I hadn't seen like 10 years.
Yeah.
And I gave them a really good time. And what I mean by that is I gave them everything
I
that
gave
they
them a
wanted.
really good time.
made
I'm
a
glad
really
you
good time.
elaborated.
I even convinced my manager to go ahead and comp their drinks.
That's crazy, dude.
Also, another time he came, there was like a bit of a mishap because he was supposed to. Okay, so this is a point I wanted to touch on. Working in private clubs is a really good way to get really good connections, and it pays a decent salary.
Okay.
I make over $1,800 a month.
Nice.
Easy.
Just from
Working
that
there.
one job.
Yeah, easy.
How much do you work there?
It's open Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning,
I'm looking for hours.
Thursday
Per week, how many hours are you putting in?
per week, maybe 20, maybe a little more than 20.
That's wild.
What
Because
am I
normally
doing?
my checks are like 46 hours, and my last.
Is it monthly?
What do you mean pay?
Yeah, your checks are 46
Every-
hours.
Every 2 weeks I get paid.
Okay, yeah, so you're making, 23 hours a week.
Yeah, about 23 to 28 hours a week. I'd say I work
Okay.
because sometimes
So
doubles
23 to
take
28. And how many days a week are you working?
Well, this week's a little more empty than usual, but it's normally
Mhm.
it's normally Tuesday morning. But I didn't do that this morning because there were no reservations.
Just
Mm.
Tuesday
Just because
morning.
it gets really slow sometimes. Wednesday morning I almost always work
Did you work this morning? Ah,
It's Wednesday.
because I was on the pod. And my manager was like, "Take it off." I was like, "Cool."
beautiful. And you took that opportunity to go get a job from Young Gas Station.
I called him this morning about it too. He's really freaking cool. That's the best manager I've ever worked with.
Really?
Oh yeah, but Pinnacle Club, so from Thursday to Saturday, evenings are available, but only Thursday and Friday mornings. No Saturday mornings. And Friday there's always a buffet.
Okay.
If they need
Yeah.
someone, I'll come work
I think it's
for
a
'em.
professional kitchen on the 17th floor of a building,
Yeah.
basically in a club. But it's good because I get to talk to the important people, as I call it. I had a whole conversation with a judge last time.
That's
I worked
beautiful. But the most important people in our city go there.
Yeah, no, I know the district attorney.
Really?
He follows me on Instagram.
That's dope.
Mercy.
I love that, dude.
On
Yeah,
the
you're making
VizClean
great
Instagram,
connections.
I didn't let him do my personal because I was like, I don't know him like that, but it is
No,
what it
yeah,
is.
the VizClean is the one you want him on anyway.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
I already said getting checks and then use your bank as a resource. And what I mean by that is if you need to make any money decisions, call your bank. If you're going to invest, if you're going to buy something, talk to them, see if they can help you find a smarter way to go about purchasing.
Let's square back real quick because you were
Okay.
going to go into a point, don't be a stranger.
don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger like we are right now. Anyone I meet, I'm willing to have the full longest conversation possible.
Okay.
And I do that. I got myself into that way mainly by working at the club.
Sure.
Because I worked at
Indeed.
the country club for a while, but I was a banquet worker, so I didn't get to talk to anyone because they were always there for an event.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where I kind of crapped out. I should have been a server or a bartender.
Mm,
They make good tips.
Yeah.
Indeed.
There's a server there that makes more than one of the managers.
Wow.
Jackie.
Pretty impressive.
Okay.
You may or may not know.
No, I don't know.
That's a lot of names.
There are a lot of names.
But no, yeah. Anyone that I run into, especially, I already knew 2 people at the bank, but anytime I'm talking to a teller and there's just like that minute of silence, I normally try to either throw in a joke, like a little quick jab,
Okay.
or like, because it's normally just off the top of my head. I don't have like the greatest example right
Sure.
now, but it's
Right.
normally just like, just make
Chit
slight
chat.
conversation. Yeah. Get to know the person a
Sure.
little bit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And you've read now How to Win Friends and Influence People, correct? No way.
You never gave me the book to borrow, sir.
I never had the book.
Oh,
I've got it audiobook and PDF.
dang. No,
Now,
I read Rich Dad Poor Dad,
Okay.
and I
Jeez.
have a book that I've been meaning to start, but
and that one I
books
still
paid
want
for?
too. Rich Dad Poor Dad. I
You
still
want
really
it?
want to read that. Yeah.
just get it from me. I'm done with it.
Okay,
You can use
word.
it. But yeah,
Beautiful.
don't be a stranger, because the easiest way to make your business life and just life in general easier is to be as nice and as courteous and as diligent as possible.
Dude, you're literally speaking the words to the T of how to win friends and influence people. That's like what the book says, pretty much. If you
Mercy.
boil the book down into words.
This is just what I've been doing since I was like young.
Yeah, and I was the same way. The book kind of helps frame.
Helps you like focus in more
Yeah,
on it.
it helps frame what you're doing exactly and focus in on it.
That's what I say. Main thing with me is like I know I can talk to people, so I've been just trying to put it more into practice.
Yeah.
Like I literally walked into a gas station 3 times over the course of 2 days to talk to one guy.
Mhm.
And whenever I met the guy, I'd landed the deal.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm mistaken, but is that like not just common sense?
It is not to some people. Some
Yeah.
people don't have common sense.
Right.
It's a very real thing.
Yeah.
No,
And it's
also,
not like they're dumb. It's just they can't.
Yo,
they
it's
don't
like-
think the same way other people's brains think.
If you're not an ass, typically people won't be an ass back to you.
Yeah,
Like,
you give what you get.
I appreciate people being courteous and respectful, and so if I do that to other people, they
Every
appreciate
religion has the golden rule. Every religion has some version of do unto others as you would have them do to you.
because that's just the bottom line.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah, absolutely.
But then
Yeah,
again,
it doesn't
like
factor
I'm
matter.
saying, some people are just arrogant. Some people just sit on a high horse. Some people just have that attitude. Some people have just had that kind of life where they were formed to be like that.
No, that's exactly right. That's what I was gonna say. Was one major advantage that we had was that where we grew up, we were able to
Oh,
interact
dude, the only reason I'm the
with
way I am is because of my dad.
all types
Yeah.
of different individuals
Mm-hmm.
from all types of varying age ranges. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
learned to be able to socialize, be sociable with
Easy.
anybody from any age range, all over the place.
I was going to say, especially because if you ever got kind of closer with some of the older crowd and community,
Of
they would
course.
give you jobs sometimes.
Yeah.
And you would
Yeah.
meet other people. Like, especially, he wasn't in the community.
As a
but
matter
my
of fact,
grandpa on
I'm
my
about to be
mom's
offering
side-
to hang lights on roofs. I'm like, you know
Oh, yeah,
what?
no, bro,
I'll hang
you
your
could
Christmas
make
lights, dog.
$1,200 of... either way.
No, yeah, there were people that literally do Christmas lights.
It's a business. They have it
work
registered.
they work for December,
That's it.
November and December, and don't work the rest of the year.
Well, yeah.
You can
you-
just make that amount of money.
You can
You do
like,
5 houses
I
a
was about to say,
day.
you can do 5 houses in a day, dude.
We're on the same
We're on
wavelength.
the
Dear
same
Lord.
wavelength.
Especially because
Listen.
you know how the you could do that out of a sedan too, because you don't need to bring that terribly big of a ladder.
No.
Yeah.
You just
And what
need
I mean by
you
that
and
too
a-
is they have these ladders at Lowe's that are maybe, when collapsed, 4 feet tall, but whenever they're extended can be like 17.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The little big,
Extension ladders.
little big giants. The one that
Little
folds
big
out and
giants.
then the one that extends.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's so I'm waiting to buy one for my business.
They're
'cause it'll
so
be
good.
great.
By the way, that was not a shout out. Sponsor us.
Make sure that you sponsor us. I'm gonna use your product because I like it. I've used
Yes.
it before. I just don't have one yet.
Yep.
But yeah, be sociable. Definitely don't be a stranger unless you have a friend that can do that for you and you want to be the quiet person that takes care of money and everything. That's fine. That's your opinion.
your
But
prerogative.
You need at least one person in a business that's like that.
Yeah.
We'll call it like the face of the business. It's like how I could
Who's
probably
the face of the business.
yeah.
And what a beautiful face, might I add.
Honestly. You know what?
Yes.
I want that zoomed in.
I will zoom in.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
What was
sorry.
that?
Moving on
Little
to
spice.
Little spice.
Little sugar on spice.
No. Moving on to advertising, though, if we
Yes.
could, because I feel like a lot of people would like to know about this.
Yeah. This is actually the part I'm most interested in. All the other stuff I kind of knew already. This I would love to learn more about.
Okay, here you go. First things first.
This is bottom line.
You already know our graphic designer friend, Elaine. She
know her.
does incredible work. You need a graphic designer to make your logo. That's the first thing I'll say. Just get a logo so you can slap it on every email.
Did she make your logo?
Yeah, it's pretty tight, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we could do better though.
We could, but at the moment,
At the moment, it's slick.
What?
For where you're at, how
no,
much
that's
did you
what
pay
I'm saying.
for it?
For the moment, it's all right.
How much did you pay for it?
20.
For a $20 logo.
$20 logo.
For a
That'll
$20
do.
logo.
That'll do.
No, that's
That'll
That's
do.
what I'm saying.
gracious me, dude. Yeah.
That's what I'm.
There are people out here paying $200 for that logo.
No,
Honestly.
that's why I'm saying. If you know a friend, that's why I said get it. If you can find a friend, or just go to a college campus and find someone that's a graphic design
No,
student.
yeah, I was gonna say that too. Yeah, there are so many art students in our university
swear.
that don't do jack. You just find somebody that's got their iPad out.
Yeah,
Bro.
that's what you look for.
They're so down.
They'll make you something in 10 minutes, have that to you like over email, you toss them some cash, you're done.
Yeah,
I was gonna
easy.
say,
Logo in half an
If
hour.
I didn't know her, I would have just been like, I would have dropped Ruth off at college and walked all around the school to find someone on their iPad and just paid them like $100 on the spot to make the logo. I've been like, can you do this and send it to this email? Thank you. I'll give him money and walked away.
Yeah,
Just because it's like, I'm
With
not
the
going to.
power of the iPad, anyone can be a
Incredible.
graphic designer. And
I'm
like,
actually
Yeah.
a graphic designer.
for like,
there you go. I am as well.
yeah.
Incredible.
I'm
I've
not.
made actually,
'cause
I'll show you a logo
I don't have
that
the
I've
Apple
made.
Pencil, so
Believe it or not.
While he's pulling that up, I'll go ahead and touch on the fact that social media, whenever you're more branded, whenever you're more grounded as a company, that's dope. Whenever you're more like established, those are going to kick in a lot, but it's a really, really smart idea to get that working in the beginning, especially on Facebook and Instagram, I'd say. Because you're not going to find too much work on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't think you would. Craigslist probably too, but like I'm going the Facebook approach because you can just join groups that post side jobs every day.
Literally.
And I just also Airbnb. If you download Airbnb and instead of booking for a place, I just
cleaning services.
no, I just typed in where we live and I looked up all the places that we had for like a 2-bedroom because it's like a 2-bedroom would be easy as heck to clean.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just messaged like 10 people last night. Yeah.
Yo.
I'm just-
Yeah, that's a great way.
and I'm about to hop back on
because
and
like
do it
as
after
an
this.
Airbnb owner, that's the only thing that you do.
No, yeah, my friend Henry told me about this. He's like, "You're doing a cleaning business?" Like, yeah. He's like, "Why don't you hit up all the Airbnbs before Masters?"
Dude, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
The only thing that Airbnb owners do is clean the place
Is rent
between guests.
property.
And then occasionally come in and say, this needs to be fixed. I'm going to hire someone.
Yeah, they clean
or
though.
the tenant presents that to you. But
Legitimately between guests, all they have to do is clean. So if
So if
you
they
come in
hire
there and you
someone-
clean, they can give you half their revenue for no reason. Like,
and that's why starting a cleaning business is literally the easiest. It's not easy work to do every time.
yeah,
Because some cleaning things are annoying and some things are equipment. But it's the easiest business to start and scale.
yeah,
Aside from probably like a landscaping business, like our boy Napier.
yeah. Shout out to Nate.
Man, you know the man. But as far after that, there's a really good one. Whenever you get a bit of a reputation.
Yeah,
I mean, like I did a job in Westlake recently, and I'm waiting. I've done 2 jobs in Westlake, I should actually say.
Mercy.
Oh.
But
By the way, for those of y'all that don't know, Westlake is a gated community.
with its own golf course.
I
Country
didn't
club.
know that part.
Actually, it actually has its
It's
own
wild.
country club. I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
No, yeah. My friend Brian's a member there
It's-
and the country club.
Wealthy neck of the woods.
Probably the most
Wealthy
wealthy neighborhood
boys.
in the area.
I wouldn't go that far because
No.
the hill.
Okay. Homes off of Wrightsboro. We actually have a contract for a home off of Wrightsboro that's in the works because it's still getting renovations done to it.
Okay.
10,000 square feet.
Oh, yeah, 10,000.
$6,500 cleaning job.
Gracious
Because
me.
I charge 65 cents a square foot. If you do a cleaning job for a house or a professional kitchen or like a carpet, you're going to want to charge 65 cents a square foot. Anything lower than that, do not take the deal. And that's my thing for pricing because I didn't have too much else to say about pricing.
Where did you find that?
I know a guy that also owns a cleaning company. I
Okay.
just called him one night. So that's
Wait, in the same city?
yeah. He does the Chick-fil-A on Peach Orchard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was gonna actually. We were supposed to be the cleaners for the Chick-fil-A on Peach Orchard, but it fell through because he doesn't make enough money apparently.
Got him. Don't make enough.
Tough, dude.
Aside from word of mouth, though,
Don't be like him.
whenever you have a brand, the thing that I'm doing right now, my advertisement strategy, if you would, is cold calling.
Yeah.
I started at my own complex that I live at, and
Mhm.
I've just been calling any business I see on the left or the right side of my
See,
road.
You are
And-
very different from a lot of people. Like, a lot of people despise that job.
A lot of people hate talk. A lot of people hate doing phone calls, and I don't understand that.
I
personally.
love phone calls.
I don't necessarily love phone calls, but I will do them
I-
until
No,
the day.
I
is
prefer to be
done.
on FaceTime.
So, look, I'll tell you the reason why I love phone calls. Because you cannot ever know who's on the other end of an email. You
True.
never know.
Facts. You could actually hear the voice.
Yeah, when you talk to
True.
somebody, also, your personality comes through in a phone call.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
for people like us
If you
who
can-
actually have somewhat of a personality, you can get clients way easier on a phone call
No,
than
yeah,
you
I
can
think
get
that's
them
the
on
reason why
email.
it's honestly worked well as it
Yeah.
has. Because I was supposed to make a phone call before I came here, but I didn't get the chance. I have the corporate number for Walgreens for this area, and I need to call them and see if we can't land some jobs.
That would be
pressure washing.
beautiful.
Man,
Yeah.
And maybe
Corporate
upkeeping.
Walgreens.
I mean, the manager at the Walgreens I
crazy.
called was like, I can't make that deal for you, but I know who can, so let me give you their number.
Oh,
And I was like, okay,
mercy.
thank you. People that lead you in the direction and don't just say, I don't think we need that, I love. I love
Yeah.
when people try to give you a chance.
That's
It's
so beautiful,
fantastic.
dude.
Yeah.
Man, and it's like it all goes back to what we were saying earlier, where like you get what you give. When
Yeah.
you give that energy, you act like who you are. You know, you're a genuine individual. You want to help these businesses make the best representation of themselves they can. They hear that over the phone. They can tell that you are a genuine individual, just trying to make a buck. You know, doing something that helps these
Right.
businesses. They're like, hey, I can't do this, but I want to see you succeed. You want to help. You want to
Exactly.
have people that
It's
want to
like,
see you
I
succeed.
might just be the general manager at a Walgreens, but I do know where the phone book is, and I can give this kid the number that he needs.
Exactly.
I'm going to just do that real quick, because he probably wasn't doing jack crap else besides counting how many condom boxes had gotten stolen that day.
Exactly.
So I don't think it really matters.
Imagine.
However, moving on to our next point, you actually brought it up, putting in the work. How to set a price for service. I kind of already dipped over this, especially, at least in my company, 65 cents a square foot is what I'm going to charge for most jobs, aside from pressure washing.
Indeed.
And I say that for the reason of I did enough research just off of like the areas and like how much other people were charging, and I talked to you.
Me.
Right, and then I did a little bit of my own research. I kind of figured out what my competition was, and I was like, okay, I can charge this much for this. I'm pretty sure I can eyeball that every time I see it.
Absolutely.
So if I'm like, hey, I can make you a quote. I don't have the thing to trace it, even though I'm gonna get that at some point. But I can go up there and be like, okay, this whole pathway, I'm not doing this for less than $800.
Yeah.
And that staircase, I'm not doing less for $250, because I'm going to sit down and be like, that's going to be a buttload of work. I got to get under it. I got to get above it. I got to get on the side of it. I got to do everything to that staircase.
Yeah.
So I'm going to charge $250 for it, because it's a
Mm-hmm.
3-story staircase.
Exactly.
And that's kind of how I would say to make up your pricing, is just like, think about the job. Think about maybe not how many hours it will take you, because if you go hourly, that's fine. I did a job one time where I did $65 an hour for pressure washing. That was fine. I made $390 that day, and I worked for 6 hours, so it was great.
Yeah.
But
That's on the low end of things, though, I think.
it is.
Indeed.
It very much is, because I did a driveway and a patio and another walkway. And I did a drain. But it was my first
Mm.
job.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that
that's-
makes sense. My second job was $625. So
Yeah, beautiful.
we went up the totem pole.
Yeah,
Indeed.
absolutely.
But those were gutters and windows. I hate gutters and
Oh.
windows.
I
but
hate
it
gutters,
made
dude.
big money.
Yeah,
Oh,
windows
yeah.
suck, too, because you have to be
You have
gentle.
to get it. No, you have to get them crystal clear. That's the worst thing in my opinion.
Oh, yeah?
And you have to get the right squeegee, and you have to get the right kind of cloth, and you have to make the right solution.
The problem in my mind is you got to be gentle, because, like, if it's concrete, if it's cement and brick, you can just bring out that heaviest hitting nozzle. You can go hard on it for like 5 seconds and it's clean. However, on a window, you might have to use some solution. You might have to use a little
Well, whenever
soft
we went out,
wash.
whenever we went out and cleaned this lady's most recent window, it was me and Gabe. I believe I can say his name.
Yeah.
But I just had the solution plugged into my pressure washer with the application nozzle.
Yeah.
So I would and then do the one next to him, and then we'd go at it with the squeegees. I only did that at the last one, though, because I didn't think that, 2 people could be doing this job, and I don't just need to sit here with the pressure washer.
Yeah.
But it worked out, and then you need like 100% cotton rags. Get those things squeaky clean. And you can use blue Windex, or you can mix vinegar, Dawn dish soap, and water.
How about that?
That's a solution. That's actually like the most popular home remedy ever for cleaning glass. And just cleaning in general, because vinegar is like a disinfectant.
Yeah.
And
It's an acid, too, so it picks up things.
And then it's the soap adds some magnetism, if you will, to it, so it helps get things out and conglomerate them.
Yeah.
Makes the windows shiny.
Beautiful.
Having this light is probably very helpful right now because it's pretty dark out there.
No,
Yeah,
it's
why
getting
did it
dark
get so dark?
No, it gets dark so quickly now. It was
Oh,
dark
yeah,
at like 8 o'clock last
Because
night.
we had the time change.
I hate it.
I hate it, too.
It feels like 10 every time it gets like 8. I'm like, what?
I know.
Yeah. And so
Wanna
if
do
we didn't
so
have
small.
that, it'd be pretty dark right now.
I'm going to go home after this actually and sand a wardrobe with my porch light.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
don't know how you're gonna see
Incredible.
that, boy.
Oh, Lord. But, I mean, putting in the work, like Dalen was saying, if you just expect that jobs are going to come your way and you expect that, if I sit here and think about business and research business, I'm going to do business, I'm going to do
No.
good, I'm going to make a lot of money. That's not going to be the case.
That's not how it works.
As crazy as it sounds, the
God.
world will not be handed to you on a silver platter.
You just got to wake up with some ambition in your blood. I don't know what else to say, but you just got to wake up and be like, I'm
You
doing
have
this.
to want
Yeah.
that money.
Okay. Being broke is a great motivator too.
You gotta
I
want
tell
that
you
money.
what.
You know
Yeah.
what?
Whenever you sit there and go like, this is how much I need by the end of the month to make all the payments I need to make, especially with me because I have auto draft on most of my bills, so I need to make a certain amount of money by a certain time.
Yeah.
So like my insurance bill, if I don't have enough money in my account, it's like, what am I gonna do? I can't get my dad no more. I don't live in his house. I have my own place.
Yeah.
So I got to make sure that I have worked enough hours at Pinnacle to pay my stuff, but also B, that I am each day putting in a little more and a little more effort towards the business. Like I want to get up to one point where we're doing maybe 100 calls a day.
Yeah.
And I think that would be incredible because that would be so much.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Because if you get 1% of that, one job is enough to pay your insurance bill.
Yeah.
So in one
It's
day
enough to
you
pay
paid
like
your
10
insurance
of my
bill.
insurance
That's what I'm
bills.
saying. Yeah. So in one day, you paid off your insurance. The next day you pay off your rent. The next day you pay for food.
Indeed. And I was going to say,
Next is your car payment, your insurance. I just pay them all off in a
Yeah,
day.
every single day. If
then
you
you're
make
just making
100
money.
calls, you make 1%, which is super low. You're probably, if you make 100 calls, I don't know what you're doing. If you're only getting 1% return on that,
you got some really bad salesmen.
that's what I'm saying,
that's what you
dude.
got.
And the reality is that will last long. You
No.
get very good at sales the more you do it.
Yeah.
That's why, and that's the thing is like if you actually are doing sales calls with like an acquisition company, which is the one I actually want to get into after I get cleaning company money, you need some top-notch salesmen for that. But you can make so much.
Yeah.
Like
Indeed.
if you, that's actually the job after this. I was gonna say we actually touched on the 2 last points I'd written up just throughout regular conversation,
Yeah, see?
but I will just quickly skim over them. Bigger dreams as an expansion, and that is like how to get a business for your vehicle and how to expand and then how to create passive income.
A business for your vehicle or a vehicle for your business?
A vehicle for your business.
Okay.
A business for your vehicle.
Get a business for your vehicle. Wow, sorry guys, I'm dyslexic. Okay. So,
Love that.
getting a business vehicle is pretty easy.
Mhm.
All you really need to do is, I won't say it's pretty easy. It's a vehicle, so it's expensive. But if you have that money and you pay for it, you can write it off, and lo and behold, at the end of the year, you will see a 20%. Or if you do quarterly taxes, you'll see a 20% kickback. Quarterly is a great way to go. Expanding comes with, how do I want to word this? Making sure you have the absolute best people around you possible.
Absolutely.
And
Indeed.
I mean that as in expanding a business is not a one-person effort.
Yeah.
It is a conglomerate effort with one person, with not one person with a lot of ambition, but with a good couple people with a lot of ambition.
Yeah. Elevate your circle, elevate yourself.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes that means limiting your circle as well.
Yeah.
At least your close circle. Because you can have a circle where it's like, I know you. I've hung out with you before.
Yeah.
But it's not like you.
Look, this is something that I think about all the time, actually. You know the quote, you are the average of your 5 friends. You take your height, you take your weight, you take your income, any metric, you're the average of your 5 friends. Think about that.
Everyone do that and post in the comments.
Post your average. We want to see who's broke.
Whether
Because he's broke.
well, no,
Kidding.
not that. Whether or not that stands true.
Yeah, because
Because I'd be
it's
kinda
like pretty much a
Curious
universal
about
law.
it. Maybe I'll even post a little story on Instagram asking people to do that, and then after that, it'll like have a voting poll, and they can vote whenever they.
Are you the
Find
average
out.
of your 5 friends?
Are you the average of your 5
Closest
closest
friends. It's not 5 friends. It's 5
Yeah.
closest friends. The people that you surround yourself
And if you
with.
don't have 5 friends,
Sucks to be you.
then you're the average.
you are the average. That's the
Yeah,
bottom
You
line.
are.
If you're the only one, then you're
I
the
am
average.
the mean median
Yeah,
in
that's
That's
the.
the bottom line. Yeah.
Min, max,
Lord.
mean. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Ain't nothing but a little mouth.
Creating passive income though is
What?
one of the biggest things that we can touch on.
Indeed.
Along the sides of once you've put in all the effort we've talked about, once you've done all the filing, once you've gotten through all the stages of what we've just been discussing for
Yes.
the past how long?
An hour 10.
An hour 10.
But either way, once you get past all the hard work, the grudge, and the days, and possibly years, you can eventually just become the person that tells people what to do.
Yeah.
If you can build your business to that size, which is basically my idea, is just to have a big enough cleaning business in Georgia where I have employees under me and a manager running my store, so I can take the money that I make from that and go off and do investments and I hope acquisitions.
Yes.
I want to teach other people how to make businesses
Indeed.
and run their business for them.
Yeah, because right now you're learning the skills. You're making money too, but you're learning the skills that if your business failed today, you'd be able to make it in a minute,
Yeah.
in a second. That's why limited liability corps are so
Popular.
because you're learning how to build the business. Then if that business fails, somebody sues that business, you say, so what? I'm not tied to that by any means. I'm a completely different entity from that business. I'm going to start a new one, and I'm going to get it to the exact same point in a tenth of the time.
And that's what repetition will do for you.
Exactly.
It's the same thing within the gym. I mean,
Speaking of the gym, I'm pretty sure in here you have, tips for connections. How about that?
That's one of the last. Actually, that is the very last segment. Is tips for connections. Figure out what people in your family do. Figure out what everyone in your extended family does too, if you can, because if they can aid you in any way in your business, like I know an executive banker and I know a VP, and within my family, I think that may actually be it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if they really have much power, but like my other uncle's a VP. Actually, no, he's the president now of an engineering company. And then my dad's a math teacher, so he could run numbers for me, which is actually a thought I had. But like, people will have different skills. I don't have a CPA. My dad's been teaching math for 25 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows how to run numbers into a spreadsheet. Could probably do a pretty good job at it.
No doubt.
Indeed.
And then, just like see what people in maybe your mom's good at numbers. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe your sister.
You've
Get
got
your-
more connections than
yeah.
you know just
Use
based
your
off of
family.
your blood. You know?
Exactly.
Indeed.
And I mentioned it earlier, but working private clubs, not necessarily a country club, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you can find a private eatery, like on the 17th floor of a building per se, in downtown
Oh, where would
area.
you ever find that?
I don't know. But you go there, you can have a lot more of a quote unquote personal setting
Yeah.
with the person that you're with, because I'm their server. I'm not just the banquet worker anymore.
Yeah.
So I can actually speak with them and like make jokes with them and not get them to like me, but just
but get them to like you.
get
Yeah.
them to like me.
You know.
I don't see why
you
there's a
did.
problem with that.
I don't know. It sounds a little superficial. Slightly.
I don't see why not.
I mean,
Fair
it kind of is. You know.
I mean, I do want them to like me though.
Yeah.
There's a table that always comes in for espresso martinis, and I have to go
Yeah.
all the way downstairs for that, but I do it every time. I don't make the bartender. I always come up with that.
Get
The
the,
last
people to
one-
like you.
Very, very last tip for my connections.
Well, after that, I
Of
have
course.
another thing that we can talk about.
I would love to. If you live or know of a richer area, right, where you can, let's say, how do I put this? Find an expensive gym membership. Find somewhere that has a gym premium that's way above normal gym premiums. You might be like, that's a really dumb money decision. Who else do you think is going to be working out at that gym?
The people that are
People that have money.
they have enough money to pay for that.
Exactly,
That's true.
and that's why that premium's up so high.
Yeah.
So it's the same way goes for the private club. If you're not working at it, see if you can't join one.
I was about to say that.
'Cause
You know, the
that's-
country club.
Mm-hmm.
The country club has a multi-$1,000. It's like $12,000 to start the membership, and then a yearly, like $100,000.
It's like $50,000 to become a member at the country club.
Okay, yeah. Then it's like $12,000 to maintain it. How much is it to maintain?
I haven't. I know Brian's a member, but I haven't asked him his actual billing, just because. I know how much he pays at the Pinnacle, but that's because I work there and I know their
Yeah.
rates. It's
However-
$1,500 down payment, a little bit of upkeep. I think upkeep's like $100, and then how much you're buying food.
There is certainly a level that you have to get to. You have to achieve a certain level.
to escape the matrix.
You have to escape the matrix.
Escape
Anyway,
the matrix.
you have to be able to achieve a certain level before you can even become a member of that place.
Yeah.
So that means that you're surrounding yourself, when you go there, you're surrounding yourself with other people who have already achieved that level.
And by getting to a different level, he doesn't mean really. He means like money-wise.
Yeah.
Whenever you make a certain amount of income, you can do things. That's why there are fines on certain laws. You can still do them. You just have to pay money.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It means I'm going to be littering on every highway I drive.
Well, that's all we have for you today. However, that's not all we have for you.
Indeed, we have more content. Because we're just so good at this, we just have a very long podcast. So instead of having one very long podcast, we're going to have two shorter chunks. With that being said, Sir Charles,
Sir John.
thank you for joining us
Sir Dalen.
on
Gotta
part
end
one
off
of this
on a
Yes.
handshake.
podcast. Enough on a business handshake, even though we're not done. This has been
No.
The Minimum Wage Podcast.
Or even the name is above our pay grade.
Peace.